to remind everybody, if you haven't signed up, to sign up. If you're an elected official, sign up if you want to do some public comment. We have a easy meeting to where we're very casual and we'll let anybody come up and speak at any given time under public input. So we're almost ready to get the party started. Okay. I want to call to order the New Mexico State Transportation Commission meeting of May 30th, 2024 at approximately 8:33. Let the record show that 4 commissioners are present, 3 in person, 1 via telephone, and a quorum has been established. Can we get a roll call for the record? Here. Here.
Thank you.
If we can now stand, I'll have the mayor, if she would be so gracious to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I blew the intro. Do you want to throw the intro in? Let's do it. Thank you, I appreciate that, and that's our first time running the intro, so thank you. It's very, very good. Fellow commissioners, you've had a chance to review the agenda. Is there any additions, deletions, or any other thing at this time? If not, what is the pleasure of this commission? So moved. We have a motion by Commissioner Tonjes. Second by Commissioner Chenoweth. Can I get a roll call vote? And I'm going on a roll call vote every time because we have somebody via telephone, so the rules are that you need to get a roll call vote. So let's go ahead and get one. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If we can move on now to the approval of minutes. You all had a chance to review the minutes of the special meeting of May 23rd, 2024. Is there any questions? Is there any comments? If not, what is the pleasure of this commission?
I move that we approve the
Can we
minutes.
make most we accept those notes?
We have a motion by Commissioner Lundstrom to accept the approval of minutes. We have a second by Commissioner Chenoweth. Can I get a roll call? Yes.
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 Thank you. Carries unanimously. We're now going to welcome to ENMU Dr. Johnston, President. If you would come up, we want to let you know that we appreciate you having us here in your facilities. It's a great campus, a beautiful campus, and we're very happy to be here. This is where our secretary flunked out And, but he went on to better things. It's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. It's our pleasure to host you here, and welcome to our beautiful campus at Eastern New Mexico University. And for some, welcome back to Eastern New Mexico University. I know I've said on that side, I know you have a full agenda. I won't only take a couple of minutes of your time, but just wanted to mention a couple of things. First is local context. The work of the commission is impactful to so many of the daily lives of New Mexicans. And as you look at our campus, our local context, we have a very busy highway, very busy railroad that bisects our campus, and the pedestrian bridge that you may have noticed is neither ADA accessible or adequate to provide safe pedestrian crossing and allow us to develop that side of our campus. Also, the roadways here, those are our first impressions as we recruit to campus and our community. So we appreciate the work that you do and know the local impact and the positive opportunities that are in place here. I would also just, again, mention very quickly the importance of Eastern New Mexico University to this region of the state. This is that point of university or higher education access. 2 weeks ago, we graduated 755 back into the community and providing that educated workforce for our region. We continue to grow. We've seen that 6 and 7% growth in enrollment year over year, and that momentum is starting to increase post-COVID. And I would also say, as we look at this, there's an idea, I think, that all of this is online now, that we do so much of our work online. And I will tell you that for regional comprehensive universities like this, we provide that critically important in-person university experience. So while we've always had, and I think every university across the country has had that significant online or distance education presence, our in-person demand continues to grow. Of course, watching our numbers at this point for our fall semester is kind of like watching the stock market minute by minute, but the demand for our housing is up 9% over this time last year. So we are at or near capacity last year and are looking to do that again. So again, as we bring that residential experience and we continue to work as a community partner to grow this region, we recognize the importance in the work that you do. So thank you, and we're happy to host you. We hope you have a moment to enjoy a little bit of our beautiful campus. Thank you.
We really appreciate you hosting us here. So having come from Las Vegas, that's where I grew up. I'm a Highlands University fan, and Eastern New Mexico was always one of our rivals, and we enjoyed playing. But
there's always time to become a Greyhound if you like.
That's like asking me to switch from Raiders to Dallas.
That's true.
So thank you again.
Thank you. Our pleasure. Thank you.
We're gonna go, I'm gonna turn it over to the secretary now for introduction, so he can introduce his staff. Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, President. It's good to be back. I started my college career here in Portales and ended up transferring to New Mexico Highlands, and I know that the school missed me because the year after I left, you retired the building I lived in my honor, I understand it. And so I was part of the last cohort that lived in Bernalillo. Was it Bernalillo?
Only if you were the only man living there.
Lincoln Hall. Yeah, I never went to Bernalillo. I don't know. It's an all-female residence, but
Now you know why you switched to Highland.
yeah. But it is great to be back. You have a beautiful campus, and I look forward to talking with you, perhaps sharing with you. We released a workforce development strategy, and we're hopeful that that gets its way to you through the higher ed secretary. But if not, I can send that directly to you. But we do have some areas in the agency where we're going to see a need for the clear development of credentialing programs for Department of Transportation. I'm sure ACNM shares some of the pain points with us for their contractors. Thanks for having us. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I want to introduce our executive staff here, starting all the way to the left. Rick Padilla, Executive Director for Highway Operations. Lisa Vega from D6 could not be here with us today. She sent to replace Kirk Weber, who is the ADE for construction. In District 5, we have Javier Martinez, whom I shared with you all, is serving as the acting district engineer for District 5 until we get a search complete there. To the left of him is Adam Romero, district engineer 4. Paul Brasher has accepted the position in D3, and so we congratulate him, and so he's scooted over 2 chairs. Francisco Sanchez from District 2. Francisco, thanks for having us here. It's nice also that every time we come, or that I come anyway, you arrange for a tornado. And to his left, Aaron Chavarria from District 1, Deputy Secretary Jessica Cooper. And joining from Federal Highway is Rodolfo Oviedo and Steve Hamilton, our General Counsel. It's good to see the table full of very, 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 very smart people. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have, I got a list of some elected officials. And so, but I want to recognize we have a few others. I think we have a city councilor, Ms. Cordova is here. I want to recognize her. We had the benefit of enjoying dinner with her last night. And to show that it is a small world, her daughter was playing softball when I was the president at Luna in Las Vegas, and so it was good to catch up with her. We have Amber Hamilton, is the county manager for Roosevelt County, is right next to you. All right, sorry we didn't have a chance to meet. And that's all I have on the list. Oh, there we go, Mayor. There he is back there. All right. The Mayor of Clovis is here, and I had the pleasure of meeting with him and his city manager yesterday to talk about the plans they have for the expansion of the Clovis Regional Airport. Mayor, thanks for being here with us. And I'll ask others to please stand.
Good evening.
Introduce yourself.
Paul Gratter, Roosevelt County Commission, District 5.
Great.
Anyone else?
Deborah Autry, Mayor of Texaco.
Thank you for being here.
Councilwoman, what did you say? Nabila?
Thank you for being here.
Oh, there you are. Oscar. Oscar, good to see you, yes. Good to meet you last night as well.
And when we get to public comment, feel free to come up, say a few words. So just raise your hand up, bring everybody up. Do you have any other stuff?
And then if we can, Mr. Chairman, I anticipate that we're going to introduce the D2 staff, and along with that, if we can introduce others that are here from other districts and from the general office, that would be great.
And then we'll move on now to introduction of the commission. We have your representative, your commissioner, Gary Tonjes, who came on board a while back, but I received calls from him constantly and how he can make life better here in District 2. And I appreciate that, because as commissioners, we're only here to be of support. We're not here to tell anybody what to do. We're not anybody's boss. We're blessed to have the employees that are sitting here and all over the state. We're blessed that we have this type of a workforce, because without them, they make us or break us, and believe me, they make us shine. So I would just like to say that Commissioner Tonjes is a fighter for District 2, and you should appreciate him. I can only appreciate you. And so with that, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Hi, my name is Gary Tonjes, and I'm thrilled to be, well, I love District 2, but I went to Eastern, graduated a very long time ago, but this building was standing then, unlike Lincoln Hall. But this university, this experience was incredible for me as a young man, and I would encourage any of you who have friends or family members who are giving consideration to where should I go to school, please look at Eastern, what they do to take you as an individual, try to understand your needs, put you out there in the community, giving you opportunities is really rewarding. They made this university and the people, I mean, that's what it is, of course. The people here just invest in the students, and I had an amazing experience and wouldn't have had the career that I did but for them. So I appreciate that. The other thing is, I mean, it was a lot of fun. So I was telling President Johnston that, you know, we saw that we had the Doobie Brothers, we had Santana, and in this room we had Chaka Khan and Pure Prairie League and Pat Paulson, the comedian. It was a lot of fun. There were a lot of other fun things that I can't go into, just of course because of time limitations. But a phenomenal place to be, thrilled that we're at Eastern, and welcome. Glad you all are here in District 2.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for hosting us in Portales and for the amazing lightning display that welcomed us yesterday evening and some of the excitement that we had with the tornado warnings. I'm Hilma Chinoweth. I am the commissioner for District 3, which is the Albuquerque metropolitan area. We are the primarily urban area of New Mexico. I had the great pleasure many years ago to work with Mr. Tonjes, and so it's really wonderful to be here and see what a formative place this was for him, because he is an outstanding economic development professional, and as he said, he got his beginnings here. The first time I ever heard of Eastern New Mexico University was from Gary Tonjes. So in any case, thank you for having us. We look forward to a productive meeting this morning.
And I'm Walter Adams, and I represent District 4. And I guess the truth be told, Commissioner Tonjes wanted to go to District 4, but I told him it was taken, so that was a good spill on that. But I just want to let everybody know that part of this commission, what the goal has been, is to make sure that we're providing resources, to make sure that we appreciate our employees. And if you look around the room today, this is what brings joy to me, to see employees here at these meetings, that it's not all about, oh, they had a commission meeting and only so-and-so can go. That we're completely opposite of that. Who am I? I worked here for 42 years before I retired 5.5 years ago. I started in the field. I started on the survey crew. I worked in the scale house. I was a lead inspector. I worked in a materials testing lab. I was an AMS. I moved up and became, I worked for the system. My last 15 years, I went up and became a employee support for the secretary at that time, which was Rhonda Fott and Tom Church. And so I know what it is to be out in the trenches, and I know what you do each and every day. And the other thing I know is that the pay's not all that great. We're all in survival mode, and that's why we even appreciate you more, because we know you have a lot of opportunities with all your talents to go somewhere else. But that's what makes NMDOT, I call it NMDOT, strong. That's what makes us a special group, and that's why we do the things we do, and I've never seen an employee not do that. We do whatever it takes to get stuff done. So I want to, on behalf of this commission, thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do, not only today, but each and every day. And it's from the heart, because believe me, if it wasn't, we wouldn't have you here. I want you to indulge in all the things that are back on that table, because this is your meeting. It's not our meeting, it's your meeting. And we're just lucky to be part of it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Lundstrom.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Hey, thank you guys. Again, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get down there in person. I'm doing some driving on I-40 here and looking at all the road work. So I'm the commissioner from District 6, Cibola, McKinley, and Catholic counties. I want to thank you guys. Excuse me. You guys got a heck of a regent in Coach Birmingham up there now at Eastern. Pretty happy to see that. And I teach school now, so that's kind of why they schedule them so crazy. But I get got very good comments from people that are going to Eastern from our school. They're excited to go down there. So we're pretty happy to have that. But again, I wish I could have been there in person. A little bit of travel issues here, but let's have a good meeting, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. And with that, I'm going to go on to welcoming remarks. First of all, I want to thank Eastern. I want to thank the city of Portales for the kindness and they showed last night. They were very, very welcoming. We look forward to coming back here again. I want to hit a little bit of, and we talked about this a little bit. We had a little reception last night and we talked a little bit about this, and I think you hit on it. I want to talk about partnerships. I come from rural America, as you would say, just like I think Portales is considered rural. And the only way that rural communities survive is through partnerships, because you don't have the resources sometimes that other people have. So you have to depend on the schools, you have to depend on the county, you have to depend on the city, you have to depend on whoever it is to forge these partnerships and support each other. And that's the only way that communities are going to thrive. And here at DOT, we've been forging those partnerships and helping wherever we can. I mean, we stretch where we can and can't be just to make sure that we're doing what we can do to help our communities. So we're gonna do that. And the thing is just like all our employees here, it's all like a piece of a puzzle. And I was talking to some employees the other day and they were asking me, well, who do you think has the most important job here? Like, what do you think as a commission, who do you think? And I said, each and every one of you is a piece of a puzzle. No job is more important than the next. And if there's one piece missing, then the puzzle is incomplete. And so everybody here, no matter what they do, is an important part of that puzzle. And that leads to the partnerships. If we don't have the puzzle complete with everybody doing what they can to support each other, then we're not going to succeed. So I'm glad to hear that word partnership, and we're going to continue to do what we need to do to support communities, and urban and rural. So with that, I just want to thank the city of Portales again. Who was the one that hosted the reception?
The city of Portales.
Okay, so we want to thank the city of Portales for that wonderful reception. It was a great time to socialize and learn more about your community. So we thank you very, very much, and for the hospitality, for the kindness. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to public comment. If anybody has anything to say, feel free to walk up to the podium, and you can speak now or forever hold your peace. And so, do I have a, come on up. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we enjoyed visiting with you last night.
Yes, we enjoyed it as well. I just wanted to say, Mr. Serna, we built your foundation here at Eastern, so we are proud to send you off to Highlands so you can, pursue your dreams, but your foundation started here in Portales. We just wanted to thank your group for coming to our community. Last night when we were talking, you just stole my thunder, Mr. Adams, but when we were talking about partnerships, our partnerships began with you. It begins with the county, the city, Eastern, the employees that you bring to our community. So we want to thank you and appreciate everything that you have done for us in the past, but we're really, really excited to build new partnerships, grow our partnerships, and help the citizens of our community. So thank you again for being here, and we appreciate everything that you do for us.
What somebody needs to check is to make sure that we don't get charged for that tornado watch last night at the hotel. They evacuated all the rooms last night, and I heard somebody knocking on my room. And I told my wife was fast asleep, so I said, that's somebody had one too many and they're in the wrong room. 20 minutes later, somebody went in the room and said, everybody needs to get downstairs. So, if anybody sees a boot or a tennis shoe out there, that's mine. Okay, save it for me. So with that, is there anyone else to come before the...
Mayor, would you like to? We'd like an update, please, on the tornado moving through last night.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, Mayor, and I apologize for not making it. I had a prior commitment that I was meeting with some other people, and so we had a good representation there anyway yesterday.
Yes, you did, and thank you. I completely understand, and thanks for the opportunity to have a word with you this morning. I'm Mike Morris, Mayor of Clovis. Grateful for the partnerships with DOT. Certainly all of the work going on around our city, certainly the Highway 6084, appreciate that investment. That's going to be such a needed and excellent improvement. Transportation Project Fund has helped us with our arterials as we reconstruct those around our city, and certainly your aviation department and the partnership and the help that you're giving us in our growing airport. I'm grateful for that. Commissioner, you asked about the tornado. As I understand it, we had funnel cloud, but didn't have a tornado on the ground. There were reports of tennis ball size hard hail at Cannon Air Force Base. I spoke with their leadership last night. They unfortunately did have 8 aircraft that they weren't able to get inside. So they're going to be assessing that damage today, probably already doing that. There's a lot of roofs, a lot of vehicles out there that will have been affected by that, but no injuries reported as of this morning. But thank you to the Commission and to DOT for the excellent partnerships in helping us move things forward in Eastern New Mexico and in Clovis. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Amber Hamilton with Roosevelt County, and again, welcome to Eastern New Mexico in the fun side of the state, south of I-40. We are excited to have you all here, and again, we have enjoyed an incredible partnership. Your District 2 leadership is phenomenal, and I'm sure the rest of y'all are too, but I work very closely with Fernando, and just the support that we've had, Francisco, for the ongoing support that we've had for all these years, going back with Tim Parker and all of your staff. We work very closely with our District 2 personnel that are right here on staff when we're doing maintenance. We're out in partnership together. They may not can get out to things that our road department will help out with. And so that has been a phenomenal collaboration that we've enjoyed for many, many years, and we look forward to having that continued. I will tell you, as a small local government, it is imperative that we continue to see the support through those small channels like our local government road funds. I don't know that you hear enough about how important those are at keeping our small communities going. We do all of our work in-house, and we're one of the few communities that are able to do that. So when we have those transportation project funds, those are enough that keep our commission's 5-year road plan moving forward so that we're continuing to do some mileage improvements as we go, and that keeps those projects ongoing. The Transportation Project Fund obviously has been very profound, very instrumental. We had an award that we worked several years to get, and then we were able to knock out over 50 miles of road improvement with one award. So those are the things that make a huge difference in small counties like us. Just want you to understand, though, that those small buckets, while they may be a heavy lift like that local government road fund, I understand some of the stresses. I can only imagine the burden on staff. But for our local governments, those are imperative fundings to continue. So thank you for your time, your effort, your leadership, your dedication. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you for the work you do and your staff. And we have a great staff, as you see, which are great leadership staff. We have good leadership from our secretary. And before we move on, I want to give a shout out to our IT. They work very hard. They come in and they set up everything, and they do all this setup and everything. And then they're the first ones here, the last ones to go back. So let me give you a round of applause for our IT. And with that, is there any other person to come before the commission? Before I go on to the District 2 update from Francisco, I would like to get a moment of silence for one of our employees who just passed away. She had worked at District 4. Adam, if you would like to say a little bit about Celeste.
Yes, Celeste Ibarra, she was an employee at District 4. She was about 37 years old. She worked in our human resource department. She worked with us for about 5 years. She was a very good employee. She loved to bake. She would always bring us baked goods, and she was always very friendly, and she was good with everybody there at the district. And about a few days before Halloween 2023, well, we saw her on a Friday. On a Saturday, she got sick, and she went into a coma, and she stayed in a coma for 6 months until she passed away recently. So it was very difficult for our district. We'd see her every day. She was a great employee, and we're going to miss her.
And she was the partner of Travis. I think a lot of you know Travis.
Yes, she was a partner of our, Travis is the public information officer for District 4.
So our prayers go out to him and his family, and then we have an admin secretary, Christine, who isn't with us today, and I'll turn it over to the secretary.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. As you all know, Christine Guillen started with DOT in the fall of 2023. And one of the things she was most eager about when she joined DOT is that she was about to be married on Thanksgiving Day, 2023. And she learned about a few weeks ago that her husband was ill, and last Friday he passed away. So Christine will be out. She's not here with us, and I want to thank Rashawn and Sharon for helping to ensure the commission meeting went off without a hitch. So we just want to be sure that if you have a chance to check in with Christine, she's working through that loss, and especially after just a short marriage with her husband. So thank you, Commissioner, for allowing me to recognize her.
So our prayers go out to all their families on behalf of the commission, on behalf of DOT. So if I can just have a moment of silence. Thank you. And I'll tell you this, I say this everywhere I go, is that DOT is a family. And you have to, how would I say this, you have to be part of this family to understand we spend more time with our fellow employees sometimes than we do with our actual families. And whether it's snowstorms, dust storms, whether it's working late at the offices, or whether it's IT or whatever, you get to know these people better than anybody ever. So once you're here, it's a family forever. I still feel part of the family. I love DOT, I always will. But it's a family, and so anytime we have a loss, it's devastating, and we all take it with that. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our esteemed District 2 Engineer, Francisco.
Chairman Adams, Commissioners, Secretary Senate. Chairman Adams, thank you for those kind words. It means a lot, especially getting the thanks, the accolades, but of course, it doesn't happen without all these people, all District 2 behind me. And I have so much gratitude for District 2 staff and what they do and the impact. Last night at the dinner, the partnership really resonated with me because that is key for NNDOT in our communities. But what I love about these commission meetings and traveling around Southeast New Mexico is not only the partnerships, but the relationships. The relationships we develop with all city managers, like Amber, city officials, city managers. And that's one of the most enjoyable parts of my job is these relationships with these communities. So really grateful to be working with them. And I look forward to continue helping these communities. To the east side, we haven't been on this side in a while. So excited to be here in Portales. It's a great thing that what we do rotated around the districts. I love to hear what people have to say, and I'm truly excited to be here on the east side. This is our first time back. We've done the south, the middle, the east, and probably next year we'll do the west side. So once again, I want to thank the city of Portales and Enan, you for hosting us. Of course, we have the presentation. Presentation always was a pleasure to present to the commission and everybody here, just to show what we're doing here in District 2 and honor some of our employees. So thank you.
Now, before you start, we have a counselor, city counselor back there, Oscar. And I don't know if we have recommended him priorly, but if not, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Welcome all to the State Transportation Commission meeting hosted by District 2. Francisco Sanchez, I'm your District 2 engineer. Chairman Adams, District 2 Commissioner Gary Tonjes, Secretary Serna, and fellow commissioners, it is a pleasure to host on behalf of District 2. It gives me an opportunity to honor the great staff we have here at District 2, discuss some truly impactful projects benefiting Southeast New Mexico, and highlighting new and exciting things here at District 2, like this amazing chip seal and heavy maintenance crew building. So let's take a look of where we've been, where we're at, and where we're going here at District 2. District 2 serves 10 counties, 86 entities on an operating budget of a little more than $44 million annually. We maintain and enhance 7,750 lane miles, utilizing 16 maintenance patrols, 2 special crews, and 6 project offices with 334 full-time employees, which include 186 in maintenance, 76 in construction, 50 in business support, and 22 in engineering support. So let's go ahead and meet our District 2 team. District 2 construction is led by Assistant District Engineer Michael Smelker. He has an excellent team of experienced PMs that oversee 6 project offices, supported by our excellent engineering technicians, supported by District Audit, District Lab, and our management analysts. Business support is led by Daryl Johnson, our business manager. No organizational team is complete without the support service departments. This collaborative group ensures that our operation crews have the equipment they need, their equipment is repaired in a timely manner, our hiring and promotions are efficient, all our PPE is stocked in the store, our employees are safe down in the field, and our facilities are kept at a high level of service. District 2 maintenance. Currently, our Assistant District Engineer, Maintenance Engineer is vacant. The gentlemen you see on the screen, Area Maintenance Supervisor Steve Solis, Greg Evans, and Eric Cedillo, supported by our management analyst Rita Espinosa, have been my bridge to the District Engineer's office to really oversee operations on the maintenance side. These individuals here have made sure maintenance activities continue at a high level. Again, our 16 patrols and 2 special crews, the supplies and equipment they need to continue to serve Southeast New Mexico. I would like to recognize our individual patrols: Mayhill Patrol, Chip Seal Heavy Maintenance Crew, Corona, Hondo, Tularosa Patrol, Capitan, and Carrizozo, Vaughn, Roswell, Carlsbad, Fort Sumner, and Artesia Patrols, Gel, Hobbs, Clovis, Tatum, Portales Patrols. All these patrols are essential to maintaining our roads throughout the district. Engineer support, led by Assistant District Engineer Luis Mata. Luis oversees technical support, traffic, permitting, survey, bridge inspection, and crew. These hardworking men and women continue to develop projects, make sure our bridges are inspected and safe, and addressing any public concerns that are brought to our attention. Office of the District Engineer. Lisa Sandoval, Executive Administrative Assistant, is my right-hand person. She makes sure to always keep me on track. Manon Arnett, Local Government Liaison. She is a true liaison working with the communities, the municipalities, and counties, always keeping the District Engineer connected with these communities. Candice Barella, Public Information Officer. She does a great job promoting the district and keeping the public informed. And our IT specialists, Georgina Ramirez and Frank Bonda, they make sure all our IT needs are met here at the district. Now that you have met the District 2 team, let's talk about some incredible projects under construction right now. Control number 210-2112 and 210-2113 is a full reconstruction, widening the highway, bringing in passing lanes, improving safety on this corridor. It's from milepost 151 to 163.7 on US 54. It's a $40 million investment. I have the pleasure of talking to a lot of high school students, communities, commissions. I get really excited about our projects. I tell NMDOT moves mountains, and they say, what? And I said, no, literally we move mountains, as you can see.
Not bad at all.
Control number 210-1351, Downtown Clovis Improvement Project, a $42 million investment. This project will be addressing some major flooding challenges. As you can see from the pictures, this is not a small drainage system or detention pond. Once completed, This project is going to increase property values, lower flood insurance rates, and provide a safe roadway during storm events. Control number 210-4490, US 285, New Mexico 31 intersection improvement project. This intersection is one of the most congested and dangerous intersections in southeast New Mexico. We are planning on realigning this intersection, moving approximately 1,500 feet to the south, bringing in a traffic signal and putting all the necessary lanes to make the travelway in this area as safe as possible. Overall, District 2 has $239 million of active construction projects. That is an incredible amount of work taking place here in District 2. If you have any questions about the projects listed on this slide, I am more than welcome to answer questions after the presentation. I would like to highlight some of the recently completed projects shown here. These projects have significantly improved safety, pavement and bridge conditions, and mitigated congestion in these areas. Now that we have seen our active construction projects, let's take a look at our upcoming projects. One of our major investments is a $40 million project in the city of Gel, milepost 50.7 to 53.9. We're installing new signals at the intersection of New Mexico 128 and New Mexico 18 and New Mexico 128 and 3rd Street. The project improvement proposals are enhanced 3-lane typical section, full reconstruction to address poor pavement conditions, and widening to enhance traffic flow through the city of Gel. Control number 2100-741 and control number 2100-742, US 380 passing lane and safety improvement projects. This is an overall investment of $75 million. We'll be letting priority 1 on August 24th. As you can see from the map below, our first priority is highlighted in red. We will be letting priority 2 in June of 25. This is a long time coming for this area. We're looking forward to delivering this project to Southeast New Mexico. Shown here are future projects in our 4-year STEP cycle. If you have any questions about the projects listed, I am more than welcome to answer questions after the presentation. This is a breakdown of our legislative funding. The two I would like to call your attention to are severance tax bonding eligible projects, 2100-742 and 210-4334. This is our US 380 corridor that was shown in the previous slide, and New Mexico 128, a major economic corridor from milepost 28.8 to milepost 50.5. District 2 maintenance plays such an important role in sustaining our infrastructure here at District 2. They have many activities that benefits the public and safety, from snow removal to pavement preservation to construction of drainage structures, pothole patching, blade patching, guardrail installation. This group does the activities that are necessary to keep New Mexico going and the public safe. Recently completed contract maintenance projects addressing pavement preservation throughout the district. Some I would like to highlight is US 380, milepost 156 to 180, New Mexico 176, milepost 27.6 to 34, New Mexico 48 through downtown Ruidoso, milepost 1.6 to milepost 3, New Mexico 2 from milepost 23.5 to 30.6. Overall, our contract maintenance program this year was a little over $10 million investment. The discussion of pavement preservation would not be complete without talking about our District 2 chip seal program. Over the last few years, I've seen some significant improvements on this crew. They've increased productivity, efficiency, their scheduling has improved, and definitely their quality. And it showed this year as District 2 was awarded the Chip Seal Quality Award, winner of 2023. I had the pleasure of being at the award ceremony, and when District 2 was announced, you should have seen the excitement and joy and just how proud this crew was. Seeing their reaction as district engineer made me realize how much this crew cares about each other, their work, and taking care of Southeast New Mexico.
I know it's good for the traveling public and for the roads, but for our team morale, it's a big thing. It keeps our spirits high, and it gets us motivated to keep going, to do a better and better job for next year, and the crew's extremely happy.
Facilities are important. I'm a big believer in the working environment. The better our facilities are, I believe that creates an atmosphere for better productivity, morale, and just an overall great place to work.
Oh, hi, Candace.
One of our major facility improvements is our new chip seal and heavy maintenance crew building. As you can see from this photo, this is a picture of their offices. 21 crew members have to utilize this office, and there was not a great area for preventive maintenance, working on equipment. This new building is going to have plenty of room, plenty of offices, plenty of space, great work conditions, an excellent area to make sure their equipment is going to run at a high level so they can continue to improve our chip seal program. Carrizosa Patrol also got a new construction project office. As you can see on that picture, that building had kind of seen its life. I'm truly excited for Carrizozo Project Office to get a new building and a new facility to continue the great work they do in that area. New salt dome at the Hondo Patrol. The new salt dome is going to greatly enhance our snow removal operations and protecting the environment by protecting the salt pile from the elements. Now to my favorite part of the presentation, recognition of our employees, crew, and Supervisor of the Year. This collective group has done some amazing things this year and brought some truly great changes here to District 2. Best Patrol of the Year, Tularosa Highway Maintenance Patrol. The best program recognizes a patrol from each district that has displayed excellence throughout all areas of their maintenance operation. Tularosa Maintenance Patrol exemplifies all of the criteria within the best program. Tularosa Patrol was named Crew of the Year last year, and they continue to excel. I just want to congratulate them for being named Best Patrol of the Year.
My guys can work with anybody. We go out and work with other patrols. They come in and help us. We work with anybody and everybody. You know, I don't have to keep on them. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this a long time, and they know how to go get things done. And I appreciate them for that, because they do work hard, and they're out there doing what they got to do. And I appreciate each and every one of them for that. They're very easygoing people. They are the best patrol. I will say that.
Can we move the camera down this way some?
Yeah, we can put it wherever, down this wall.
Supervisor of the Year, Brett Jennings. When I took over as district engineer, I had a vision to improve our facilities and working conditions here at District 2. Brett, as the buildings and facility supervisor, took the lead on our improvements. I couldn't be happier with the facility improvements we've taken on: salt domes, chip sealing bills, new project offices. I just want to say a special thanks to Brett Jennings for being the champion for the district and taking on this challenge.
Without your team, you don't have nothing. I mean, I work for them just as much as they work for me. If I don't take care of them, how are they going to take care of me? It's just the way you're supposed to work, because it is a team effort. The buildings and grounds part of it, if you don't have infrastructure, you don't have a DOT. You've got to have buildings to work in and out of, and they've got to be maintained. And if you get them dilapidated, where are the folks going to work? I mean, it's the way I see it.
Congratulations on being Supervisor of the Year. Crew of the Year Audit. When I took over the district, we were #1 in projects on the inactive list. Being a new district engineer, this was my #1 goal, to make sure we started closing out projects. It could not have been done without our audit section. They brought in new best practices, enhanced communication between the project offices and our contractors. They started to attend weekly meetings to really see what's going on. Under Colleen's leadership, we're consistently meeting our 180-day matrix. Closing out projects is extremely important to getting funding back in our systems that benefits all of New Mexico.
That was pretty exciting. I was overwhelmed. I was all, oh no, what does that mean? Because, you know, like we said, people don't usually like, audit, you know what I mean? So it was really nice to see that they recognize the hard work and the dedication that we have. Because we're kind of in the background. We're not in the center of anything. I mean, we're not building projects. We're not, you know, in that streamline. So it was kind of nice to see that what we do in the background and kind of just making sure everything's organized and stuff, that people are actually seeing that.
Employer of the Year, Jerry Trujillo. Can't say enough about Jerry. His work ethic is tremendous, reliable, dependable, high character, integrity. Anytime you pick up the phone and call Jerry, he's gonna answer. One of the toughest routes out there is New Mexico 532 that goes from New Mexico 48 up to the ski resort. It's not an easy drive. Going on a snowplow, man, I have tremendous respect for anybody that takes on that mountain, and Jerry does it with no hesitation. The Capitan area and NMDOT is extremely lucky to have an employee like Jerry Trujillo.
At first I thought it was a joke, you know, I didn't think, you know, oh yeah, Employee of the Year, nice, okay. Yeah, you guys are messing with me, but no, it comes out to, you know, actually being true, so. It actually feels pretty good. You come out here and you work hard as you can, and then get nominated for this and get picked for it, it's an honor, so it feels good. They ask something going beyond, see something you need done, go ahead and do it. Stuff we gotta do, are we gonna do it now or do it later?
Congratulations on being Employee of the Year. Hopefully you enjoyed today's presentation, learned a little bit more about NMDOT, are excited about the projects coming to your communities. I'd like to give a special thanks to the City of Portales, Eastern New Mexico University for hosting us, Rick Padilla and John Romero for always supporting District 2, Secretary Serna for his continued work for improving working conditions for all of NMDOT. And to the District 2 staff, my extreme gratitude for your dedication and being the foundation for all we do for Southeast New Mexico. Thank you.
Great job, Francisco, and that goes to show the puzzle that I was talking about earlier. No matter what you're doing, everybody's excited to do it, and at the end of the day, that's what makes us successful. And by seeing all these employees here, you're doing great things here in District 2, and we're doing great things around the state. So thank you for that wonderful presentation. On behalf of the commission, thank you to all the employees, and all the crews of the year and employees of the year, the chip seal. Want to give them a shout out. Now I like what the supervisor said. We're ready to come back and win it again. And there's a new, we created a traveling trophy called the Ray Lopez Traveling Trophy. And you got to win it 3 years in a row in order to keep it. And if you set it as a goal, take that trophy home, and it can be done. And for you, when I was out on the field, and I was supervising Ray Lopez, chip seal fell under my supervision, and we had a guy by the name of Ray Lopez, and he was a supervisor. And I remember when I first went out the first time, and they were going to start chip sealing, and he had hands about that big. He was huge, huge hands. And I told him, Ray, when do you know what temperature, when we can start chip sealing? And he would put his big hand on the pavement, and he'd feel it. He said, it's not ready yet. So at that time, I went to the truck and I brought him a thermometer, one of those guns. And I said, from now on, use this. You don't use your hands anymore. So the process of chip seal has increased. I know that the methods and everything has increased. So chip seal crew, hopefully you win it again next year. Set it as a goal. But to all of you, congratulations. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Fellow commissioners, if you have any comments.
So, like I said, I think Brent Jennings said it all. It takes a team. It takes a team to really keep building and progressing and doing the great things we do in Southeast New Mexico. So I would like to have District 2 staff stand up.
And you're all going to introduce yourselves. So for those that don't like it, like I didn't like it.
Do you want it now or do you want it later, Chairman?
No, let's hear from them.
Yes, start this way, Manan.
Hello, Manan. Francisco, that's the guy that gave me a hard time a while ago.
Brett James, Public Exam Supervisor.
Gary Asensio. Esteban Martinez, Chief Seal. ASAP general office, but we work with a lot of support from the house here in Oslo. And so you members of the meeting have used stuff. Chris is also there, using stuff. And Chris Monroe, training academy.
Tricia, I remember you when I used to go to the academy, remember? There you go. I never could get by 101, basic 101.
So, District 2. Chairman, one last thing before we move on. I know we got a few agenda items, but want to honor a few people. Eddie Cedillo, he's out now on the private side, but he recently retired. He was our area maintenance supervisor. They're not here today, but one of the crew members of the year, Monica Serrano, and then Chip Seal staff manager, Richard Marcus, all retired after 24 and 25 years. You know, the relationships we develop, I know, you know, the way Adam spoke about Yvonne, how close you get with everybody at District 2 or within your own staff, and it was an honor to work with these three individuals. I spoke, you know, we had retirement dinners, honored them, and you know, when Eddie started when he was 19, stand up, Eddie. So, started when he was 19, and it's has so much gratitude for employees like Eddie, Monica, and Richard that dedicated their career to NMDOT. So I just want to thank Eddie, Monica, and Richard. I did the same thing. Yeah. So, thank you, Chairman, Commissioner, Secretary, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I said that I would introduce the rest of our senior managers with the District 2, so I don't want to forget to do that. I want to, John Romero stood up earlier. John Romero, Director of Highway Operations. We have Dave Harris is back here. Dave Harris, I'll introduce you later, as our new modal director, but you all know that already. David Quintana, Chief Engineer. I saw him a little bit ago. Christine, our new PIO, sporting her. She was a ZIA here at Eastern, so Christine is here. Mallory next to her. You'll hear from Mallory a little bit later, and of course Denise. And I think if I'm forgetting somebody, it's because I'll introduce you in a little bit, but that's everybody. I want to thank the District 2 staff. I want to call out Candace in particular. I know we had to change the meeting dates, and I know it takes a lot of time to get everything scheduled and lined up, from the food to the hall and everything in between. So I want to thank the D2 staff for being nimble with us. We rescheduled this meeting, pushed it out a couple of weeks, and I know that they were stressed out over, you know, all of those logistics getting, you know, reset and redone in 2 weeks. So thank you guys, thank you Candace, good job. Everything is great. I did want to talk about a couple of things. You know, Francisco mentioned, you know, throughout his presentation, you know, working to really create an environment that allows for staff to really enjoy where they work and what they do, focusing in on everything from, you know, making sure their facilities are state of the art, up to date, you know, modernized, and of course, you know, the recognition programs. I want to congratulate, you know, Francisco. His vacancy rate at District 2 is 11%, 11.5%. That's pretty good. When you look at the statewide vacancy rate is 21.8%. DOT as a whole is at 15%. And so we've been making a lot of strides to chip away at those vacancies. And a little bit, I'll tell you, you know, we have some uphills to climb still, especially with engineers, but a lot of good work. Some of the things that we've been doing to try and, address our vacancy rate. We talked about, some programs we were rolling out, and two of them that I want to thank, the team for, the DOT team for, especially the GO, especially Deputy Secretary Cooper's. We rolled out our referral program, which is a program where existing DOT employees can refer applicants for jobs at DOT, and then we reward them if those referrals get hired. And so since we rolled that out, I think it's going to be about 5 or 6 months, give or take, something like that. We've had 25 new hires from all of those referrals, and so we just kind of we press released that out, and now we hope we can get more momentum there. We also rolled out in all, I believe, but one of the districts where we saw a need, we rolled out the alternative work location program. And we have folks here at District 2 that are on the alternative work location program, which is essentially an opportunity to minimize commuting from, your home to your station of duty. And so we're working now on rolling that program out in Albuquerque, where we see, of course, big need, but I want to thank District 2 because they helped us to make that program possible here as well for some of their employees. So we're continuing to chip away at recruitment retention efforts. As you all know, now that the summer is here, the fiscal year starts in a month, and that means a number of things, including our ability to roll out the funding that we received during the last legislative session, which was significant. And so I'll be sharing with you all a link, commissioners, to a public-facing dashboard that will help us keep track of the $500 million that we received for major construction maintenance and special maintenance projects in this past session. And that kind of breaks down 320 in major construction, 70 million in about 30 or so projects that were identified by legislators, and about $120 million in maintenance across the 6 districts. And so what we want to do is provide that public-facing dashboard so that the communities, the general public, and equally important, legislators can see where we're assigning those resources and how we're going to close gaps on some of the projects that were essentially underfunded. And the added complication to these major construction projects is we've got to time the letting of these projects and the contracts with these projects with bonding. I shared with you all a few weeks ago that we rolled out some organizational changes, and I shared that with the general DOT community as well. And so I want to just kind of share a few of those. As you all may know, Sharon, who was serving as my right-hand person at the GO, has accepted a new position in research. And so her official last day at the general office was this past Friday. And so again, thanking her for stepping in and helping us out during our commission. We did a search for a new person that has to do with Ricky every day. And she'll be starting a week from this Monday, right? So she'll be starting this coming Monday. Her name is Tammy Trujillo. And so I'll be bringing her to the next commission meeting so you all can meet her in person. As I mentioned, I want to congratulate Dave Harris. He was selected as our new modal director. I want to thank Alicia Ortiz, who held down the fort for us after Franklin retired about 10 months ago or so. Dave, congratulations. He's going to do good work for us there at Modal. And he'll work to fill 2 critical positions within Modal. One, of course, is his previous one. And the other is a director who will now oversee the PRC division, we're assuming, along with ports. We also moved out of Modal the Traffic Safety Bureau, and we combined it with the Planning and Research Division, along with other asset management and grants. And we created a new department, and we've been fortunate that Denise Peralta has agreed to oversee that division, which will be focused in on how we address metrics around transportation safety, more specifically pedestrian safety. So I want to thank Denise. She's bringing these divisions together. We will work very collaboratively to work with our chief engineer, with Rick in maintenance, to ensure that what we're doing from a planning and design perspective is being looked at through the lens of, how can we improve safety for all road users, vulnerable road users, pedestrians, cyclists, you name it. And so I want to thank Denise for taking on that role, and we look forward to seeing some big things coming out of there. In some of the changes that we rolled out, John Romero will now assume oversight for the pavement preservation team. And we also have created 2 new divisions that will report to Jerry Valdez to underscore our need to really focus in on employee recruitment, retention, and engagement, and pipeline development. So we're going to staff up in those areas and bring in some FTE to really bolster what we do monthly, on a yearly basis, to really show employees that they're valued, to recognize their work and their service, to provide opportunities for social engagement at work, to provide opportunities for their families to engage with us while we're at work. So we're going to kind of put some resources behind doing that. And we're also going to bring in staff that are going to work with partners like President Johnston and others in the higher ed community to help us develop some training programs and credentialing programs. Some of the other changes, just so you're aware of, Christine, who is the comms director over at the general office, previously had some managers separating her from the PIOs at the district. And so all of the PIOs will now report directly to Christine, and we think this will streamline a lot of what we're doing. And then one of our newest members to DOT is Amy Whitfield, who is here with us today. And Amy has come over, filling our vacant GovX position, and Amy's responsibilities will be to coordinate all of our Target Zero program at DOT, and she will also serve as our statewide coordinator for beautification programs. One of the biggest priorities for our governor as it relates to Department of Transportation has been a real sustainable plan for litter control, everything from educating youth about not littering to enforcement at the state and local level for unsecured loads and for dumping trash illegally. So Amy's going to lead that effort, and we're going to roll out some community programming toolkits that hopefully get communities engaged in developing local beautification programs. I mean, our DOT forces do a great job. When you consider what they have to do just on interstates alone, it's a never-ending job. And so for the secondary roads, especially those within communities, we're going to be working with tribal governments, county and city governments to really burn the candle at both ends with the implementation of youth programs and beautification programs. Just wanted to highlight, part of our workforce development strategy is to grow summer internships, and so now we're working to fill over 40 internship positions across the agency. There's still some vacancies available, but they're getting filled as the days go by, searches get closed up, and interviews take place. So if you know anybody, please refer them over. Even to the extent that there isn't an existing position, if we have individuals, for example, that are out, near one of our district offices, project offices, or patrols, we can even work to create an internship opportunity for individuals if there isn't a position there already available for them. I've shared with you all that we've been working on a strategy for succession planning at the agency. As you all know, we have a lot of very specialized leaders and managers, from our ASD director, executive director of highway ops, even all of our district engineer positions are highly technical, highly difficult and complicated jobs and roles at the DOT. And as retirements occur and folks move on to other opportunities, we knew at DOT, in order to stay moving at an aggressive pace with projects and operations, that we needed a succession plan for these key positions. And so we have brought on board a contractor that's going to be working over the next 7 months or so. And we've identified 5 critical positions at the department that this contractor will work to essentially, they will essentially establish a documented manual for what those positions do, the skills needed, the institutional memory that those individuals have in their roles, and any other critical elements that help us prepare for transition in those positions. And so, I've always said, when you come into an agency as a secretary, there's never like a manual or a book, right? Or even a paper on the desk that says, here are some of the things that you need to be mindful of, right, in your transition. And so we've identified those 50 critical positions across the agency. And it's not because those individuals are leaving or plan to leave. Some of them are very, very fresh to the organization. So our job is to essentially say, we need to capture as much as we possibly can about this position and the memory attached to this position, so that when there is transition, we're prepared to do A couple other things, the State Personnel Board has approved a new salary schedule for engineers. The engineer salary schedule is used predominantly in the state by the Department of Transportation. Other agencies that leverage it, of course, is the state engineers and the Environment Department, but mostly DOT. We have over 600 employees that exist within the engineering salary schedule, and so the State Personnel Board has approved an increase in that salary schedule, and it's aggressive. And so we're working right now because that doesn't translate to a pay increase for individuals in the engineering salary schedule. It just now gives us a framework to compensate engineers better. And so the first thing we're going to do is make sure that everybody working within that salary schedule is making the new minimum pay rates for that new salary schedule. But we're working aggressively now that we have that flexibility in an aggressive schedule to run scenarios, financial scenarios on what it would take to leverage the new salary schedule to pay our engineers or our personnel within that salary schedule more aggressively at the Department of Transportation. So we look forward to seeing how those scenarios play out, and we're hopeful we can report to you all in the next couple of months that we're going to make some investments in our technical staff at the Department of Transportation. And then lastly, just things, because I know you all are very engaged in the things that we're doing outside of commission meetings. I want you to stay tuned. We have some events that are coming up, and I know Christine will do a good job getting these things out to you. I want to congratulate, the D5 team, congratulate Rick Padilla. We have finished La Bajada, a major construction project for us, in District 5. For those of you that have traveled anywhere near there in the past year, it's had a lot of pain points, but also a lot of learning opportunities. So we'll be doing a ribbon cutting for the completion of La Bajada, and the date is to be determined because the governor is very interested in being there as well. Our largest single project is about to break ground as well. That's the Montgomery Comanche project in Albuquerque in District 3. And so we'll be doing a groundbreaking for that. We'll send you the dates, but $300 million project really in Albuquerque. And so we're excited about that. I want to thank the team, everybody from the GO to the district for what they're doing to get that team together. We'll also be doing some groundbreakings across the state with Federal Highway Administration to announce our NEVI expenditures. Those are essentially electric vehicle charge stations across the state. This is big. Federal Highway Administration is very much excited about the pace with which we're moving here in New Mexico for electric vehicle charge stations. Just so that you're aware, I think it's important because the governor has established an executive order for the transition of all state fleets from gasoline to either clean fuel or full electric. And so, to kind of walk the walk a little bit, I brought our full electric truck, the Ford Lightning, to Clovis yesterday and here today. Everybody was worried. I want to thank everybody who called and checked on me throughout the day to make sure I wasn't stranded somewhere. But it was...
It wasn't stranded, it was charging.
I remember, it was actually a good experience. I drove from Santa Fe to Santa Rosa where I charged without a problem. Had more than enough charge to get to Clovis where I was at, got to Portales, and I charged it last night. And I should have no problem getting all the way back to Claims Corners this afternoon. And so what's important for our DOT employees to start embracing is that we get it. There's range anxiety. There's anxiety about a number of things as we transition to electric vehicles. But I'm hopeful to kind of walk the walk before you guys have to do it, to see what needs to be done to be sure that we have charge stations that are available. For example, here in Portales, I needed to charge last night at the Roosevelt County Co-op facility, and it's not a public-facing charging facility, but I was fortunate enough to get in there. And so for this community, we'll be working with the co-op to get public-facing chargers in Portales as soon as humanly possible, because without that access to the co-op, I'd be in a little bit of a lurch. I'd probably have to go to Clovis first to charge before heading back home. So we'll work on that for you all as a community. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll just stand for any questions that you might have.
I have two comments. Number one is, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I think the employees are looking at a 3% increase come July 1st. So I just wanted, I know that's always a little help And secondly, I just want to let everybody know that's working on the construction zones that we have been working on behalf of the governor. And she supports fully that we're going to start on these big construction projects. We're going to start putting cameras, speed cams. And if people aren't slowing down, they're going to take a picture and they're going to read your plate and they're going to send you the ticket. And it's a double fine on a work zone. But it's to ensure the safety of our employees out there. There in La Bajada, that turned into, there was a lot of construction going on. I traveled that road a lot. If I slowed down to 55, I had people on my bumper trying to, because they couldn't pass. People going 80, 90 miles an hour and on. And so we want to do whatever we can do to help ensure the safety of our employees out there. So that's coming up soon. She's fully supports it, and we should be doing that. Is there any other questions from fellow commissioners? If not, if we can move on to the Rodolfo or FHWA report, our partner.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, attendants of this meeting. I have a few items to update you all as relate to the Federal Highway Administration and some of the funding opportunities that exist out there. What we call and define as notice of funding opportunities for key programs that are part of within the bipartisan infrastructure law and also the Inflation Reduction Act. Those are very key programs for the communities as well as for the state at the corridor level or individual communities. I want to thank you, Secretary Serna, for his leadership and the partnership and collaboration that we have in some of these key programs. One of them that is very visible is related to the NEVI program and the deployment of electric vehicles charging station statewide. So we want to thank you for Secretary Serna and his staff for that leadership. Now, some of those notice of funding opportunities were issued at the end of last year, 2023, but they are going to come into a close date very soon, some of them next month in June, and some of them are going to be between October, November, and December. So I think it's important, and our office will be working with Secretary Serna team in taking advantage there. They have been very proactive and very successful in accessing some of those funds. In addition, in June, primarily in June, there are going to be new funding opportunities notices that they are going to be primarily focused in the NEVI program and the charging station. Some of Secretary Serna mentioned his common interest for the DOT, but also a high priority for the government office. With that, that is what I have for all of you to update that information.
That you give DOT, because without the support from FHWA, we couldn't be doing the amount of projects that we're doing out there. And we have a good team on our end and a good team on your end, and it's a good partnership. So any questions, any comments from fellow commissioners? If not, thank you for being here. We always appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity.
We'll move on now to our finance update. Mallory, how are you today?
Good morning, Commissioners, Chairman. I'm not sure if the Secretary had a chance to brief you yet, but did you hear about the semi that spilled on I-40? It was filled with a bunch of Vicks. Did you hear about it?
With a bunch of what?
Vicks.
No.
Well, don't worry, it's not congested.
Give me a second to digest that one, okay? And we have fun because for you that don't know, every time we have a meeting, Mallory comes up here and she always gives us a joke. And there's some that make me smile and there's some that I take a moment, and that was a good one.
All right. So I will be going over our financial status as of April 30th. If you want to focus your attention on column F, line number 14, this is for the State Road Fund. As of April 30th, we have received $697.8 million in revenue. Column F, line number 23, we have spent about $897.1 million. So we have spent a little bit more than what we have received. However, we still are about 2 months behind in collecting our revenue. This is normal at this time, so there's nothing to be worried about at this point. On the next page, this goes over our restricted fund revenue. On column F, line number 23, we have received $77.3 million in revenue. And column F, line number 31, we have spent $105.5 million. Again, we are still 2 months behind. Nothing to be concerned at this point regarding the revenue sources. On the next page, this shows our cash balances as of April 30th. If you look at the first line number 1, that's the State Road Fund. This time last year, we had about $382 million in cash. This year, we're about $288.6 million in cash. That's about a $93.9 million difference. And the reasons for that is we're just spending more. Projects are being done faster. Again, I'm not too concerned at this point. The next lines number 2 through 11, we have cash balance of $169.5 million, a total cash balance of $458 million at this point. And then the last page is our fund balance. This is where we are projecting where the department will end our cash position at the end of fiscal year 24. The State Road Fund is projected to have a fund balance of $47.9 million. So this money will be put back in FY25 and FY26, okay? And so these are not committed funds. Lines number 11 through 24, these are the fund balances for the restricted funds. It's a negative $16.5 million, and that's just primarily because you'll see 2 negative numbers. The first one is the NHTSA fund, which is $13 million negative, and the second one is FTA, which is Federal Transit, and that's $47 million negative. Those are 100% reimbursable. We do seek reimbursement on a monthly basis, so whatever that negative amount is, we will be collecting next month, okay? And at this point, Commissioners, I stand for questions.
I'm glad to see that you're not worried. That always makes me feel better. So, is there any other questions or comments from fellow commissioners? And again, because I think it needs to be said, is that thank you and your team. This year, our audit report was phenomenal. And I mean, we're dealing with billions of dollars, and so to have a team come in and do the job that they do, thank you. So
yes, and we actually had our entrance conference on Friday, yesterday, right? And so we're starting our FY24 audit starting this month. So we look forward to see what it brings us this year. You guys will get the results probably in January of 2025.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That we will move on to transit and rail. After this one, we're gonna go, Francisco will take the pictures after this one, and we'll take a 5-minute break. Because everybody's so excited to hear what we have to say that they don't wanna miss a minute, okay? So we'll go ahead. Hello, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Good to be here. Mr. Chair, Commissioners, I am here, my name is Kevin Olinger, I'm the Transit Bureau Chief, and I'm here to present the annual report to the State Auditor regarding regional transit districts. And just as a reminder, right now we have 4 RTDs in the state, Southwest RTD, South Central, North Central, and Rio Metro. Excuse me. Section 73-25-15B of NMSA requires that the Commission shall file an annual report with the State Auditor concerning the activities of all active regional transit districts The report shall detail how many districts have been created, describe their boundaries, and specify the regional transit systems that are being provided and how they're being funded. So attached in your agenda package as an information item is the FY 2023 report that we sent to the state auditor in May in compliance with that section of the code and with Commission Policy 90. And with that, I'm happy to stand for any questions.
No, thank you for being here and presenting that report. Any concerns or anything that you saw? It looked like it was a clean report, so.
No, they do a great job, and it's always, it's been difficult bouncing back from the pandemic, but they're doing a nice job.
Any questions, comments, fellow commissioners? If not, we appreciate you coming down here and giving us a report, and thank you.
Thank you.
Before we take a 5-minute break, do we have anybody here from Bernalillo County? Yes, sir. 5 minutes. And maybe it's probably, I say 5, it always ends up longer. So, is there anybody here from Bernalillo County? Because we have an action item.
No, they will just be the district. It will just be the district presenting.
Okay, so we're gonna skip that.
No, Mr. Chair, we'll have, the county didn't need to be here, we'll just have the district presenting that item for your consideration.
You got it. Okay. With that, let's take a 5-minute break. Hit the snacks back there, dude. resume the meeting? Thank you. I'm gonna move on to item number 9. Action item, Bernalillo County request for placement of speed enforcement cameras on MMOD-owned roads. Paul Brasher, how are you?
Pretty fair, Commissioner. Mr. Chair, Secretary, Commissioners, I'm Paul Brasher. I'm the District 3 engineer, and I'm here to present to you item 9A on the agenda here. This is the subject. This is the Bernalillo County Automated Speed Enforcement Program. And let me read into the record some background on this. In 2023, Bernalillo County enacted the Automated Speed Enforcement Ordinance under Chapter 82, Article 4, and is in the process of implementing an automated speed enforcement program within the unincorporated areas of Bernalillo County. The program is focused on reducing the occurrence and severity of correctable crashes throughout the county. As part of that effort, the county is utilizing crash and speed data compiled by the Mid-Region Council of Governments. The county has identified segments on 6 state roads with crash and speeding history that meet the criteria for the program. Those roads are New Mexico 45, which is Coors Boulevard, New Mexico 528, which is Alameda, New Mexico 500, which is Rio Bravo, and New Mexico 566, which is Tramway, New Mexico 14, which runs up the East Mountain area through Cedar Crest, and New Mexico 333, which is the former historic Route 66. So the county is requesting state transportation approval to install the speed enforcement cameras along these routes. Now, you heard this item, you would have heard this item March 21st in Jemez, where it was on the agenda as an introduction. And just a couple of points about the program. The request is attached in your commission book from Bernalillo County, and you'll note that they are proposing to install speed enforcement cameras on 9 locations throughout the county, all on state routes. And it's very satisfying that these are data-driven from the congestion management plan corridor rankings. And it went into the selection of these. The county is aware, we've discussed it with them, that these specific locations will be traffic proof. They will be out of the clear zone or within the clear zone. They will be, the poles, mounting devices will be crash worthy and will perform as best possible in the event of a crash. What is particularly satisfying, rewarding about this is that Bernalillo County states in the request that they're anticipating that by implementing these speed enforcement cameras, that it will reduce the occurrence of speeding along these corridors, as well as aid in the reduction of crashes and congestion within these areas. What's interesting and noteworthy about that is that Bernalillo County is going after lawlessness and driver misbehavior. And what is particularly satisfying about this is that this is not and in no way an indictment of the safety of the corridors themselves. So nobody is saying the road is unsafe, which a notion we would outwardly flatly reject. Anyway, so this is, they're really aimed at driver misbehavior. Now, it's before you today as an action item, and again, it was presented as an informational item back on March 21st at the meeting in Jemez, and so it's placed for your consideration for action. So in the matter of agenda item 9A, this is the Bernalillo County Automated Speed Enforcement Program. Have you any questions?
No, unless any of my fellow commissioners do. We've had a chance to review it. It's been before us. And we had Bernalillo here presenting on it. And my only question is, does FHWA, are they on board with it? Okay.
Okay, and our legal counsel, where's our legal counsel? Are you've looked at everything and everything looks good, and what is your recommendation?
I looked at it, number one, the county has the power to do this under state statute. There's a state statute that allows cities to have speed cams, and there's another state statute that gives counties the powers that the cities have. And they have to pass an ordinance. They pass an ordinance. The ordinance complies with the state statute. So it's all in good order for them to go ahead and install these cameras.
That being said, if there is no other questions or comments, what is the pleasure of this commission? Do I have a motion to approve Bernalillo County request for placement of speed enforcement cameras on NMDOT-owned roads? What is your recommendation, Mr. Secretary?
My recommendation is approval, understanding that the district will continue to move through the permitting process before the cameras are installed and finalized.
Commission, how we vote?
I will make that motion.
We have a motion from Commissioner Chenoweth.
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chair.
We have a second from Commissioner Lundstrom. Can I get a roll call?
Yes.
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 That carries unanimously. We'll go on to...
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you. We'll move on to action item FY25 operating budget, John. I used to work right across the hall from John, and he never bought me coffee. No?
Oh, I tried to. I offered, you just never came. So.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commission. I am John Tennyson. I'm the Budget and Revenue Director for the NMDOT, and I am here today to present the FY25 operating budget that will go into effect on July 1. First off, just shout out to my budget team and revenue team. They work pretty hard throughout the year to make sure that this budget stays intact, that we trace money being spent, that monthly reporting is done. I brought my budget manager with me as well. I give a big shout out to them because they do definitely work hard on ensuring that the budget is spent properly. With that, we'll go ahead and start. Next slide. Okay, so what you'll see in front of you right now is what the budget is going to be looking like. So I will start with column A, which is the FY25 budget request, which is what we submitted back in September through legislation, through negotiations with DFA and LFC. This is what we had gone through, eventually became House Bill 2, and this is what we will have come to that we will be loading here on July 1. So on column B, you have what is the FY25 operating budget. Line number 2, which is the personal services and benefits, we will be going in with a $221,981,000 budget there. In contractual services, $678 million. In other services, we'll have it at $381.7 million, and for a total of $1.281 billion. The change from the request to the operating budget is about $65 million. Going further down, looking at the revenues, the appropriation is supported by $550.2 million of state road fund, $102.8 million of restricted fund, $9.8 million of transfers from Tax and Rev and Department of Finance and Administration, and $558.4 million of federal revenue dollars. By program budgets, we have $809.6 million for our P562 project design and construction, $320.4 million for our highway operations, which is our P563, $53.9 million for business support, which is our P564, and $97.9 million for our modal programs. Just kind of reiterating what I mentioned earlier, comparing the FY25 request to the FY25 operating budget, the state revenue increased by $1.1 million. The restricted revenue increased by $1.4 million. State road and restricted fund balance, we've added $60.6 million into the budget. Federal revenue has increased by $6.7 million. And as per legislation, career employees will receive a 3% salary increase effective in July. I can go further into each P code if you'd like. If not, I stand for further questions.
You heard the presentation. Is there any comments, questions from fellow commissioners? You had a chance to review it. If not, what is the recommendation of our secretary?
Mr. Chairman, I do want to thank the budget team too, Mallory and her team for pulling this together. As was explained, we're essentially going through the operating budget as we negotiated ahead of the session with our counterparts at LFC and DFA. So I want to recommend approval. If we can just give one explanation, one question for the 65 million number at the very, very bottom here.
The 65 million overall?
Yeah.
So that's just our overall difference of what started with the request in September to where we're at now with the operating budget, based upon the state road fund revenues, the federal dollars that have come in, the fund balance that we're bringing into the budget. That's just giving the difference of where we were at from the request to where we are now with the operating budget. So we see a $65 million difference.
Okay, great. Thank you. Recommend approval, Mr. Chair.
You heard the recommendation from the secretary. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner.
Mr. Chair, Commission, thank you very much.
Hold on. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have Commissioner Tonjes and a second by Commissioner Chenoweth. Can I get a roll call vote?
Yes.
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 Thank you, John. And thank you and your team for that good work. Now we'll move on to Mallory, action item, bar number 22.
Chairman, Commissioners, this is the last bar for FY24. So I'm presenting to you bar number 22. Bar number 22 increases our budget authority for FHWA program. The bar will increase the contractual services category by $2 million, and I think I wrote this wrong. The bar will increase the contractual services by $2 million and $49.1 million. No, this is opposite, sorry. Am I allowed to change it? It's just a verbiage error. Okay, so the bar will increase the contractual services by the $49.1 million and the other category by $2 million. So it's right, but just by category is incorrect. The bar will accommodate the federal highway apportionment that we received in FY24 and also will accommodate the releases that we have done throughout fiscal year 24. This is supported by $43.7 million of federal funds and $7.4 million of state road fund match. And that, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I ask for your approval.
You had a chance to review it. Is there any comments, questions? If not, Mr. Secretary, what is your recommendation?
So again, just to go over, it will be increase the category 300 by 49.1, increase the 300 category by 49.1, and the 400 category by 2 million.
Yes.
Recommend approval, please.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Tonjes. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Commissioner Chenoweth. Can I get a roll call vote for the approval of bar number 23, Federal Highway?
Yes.
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 Thank you. That carries. Thank you. Now we're going to go on to Rick, the extending the term of use of the gel route. We do this every year, no?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rick Padilla, Executive Director. Commissioners, good morning. Yes, this morning I will be asking you to extend the term of the use of what we call the JAL route as a temporary negotiated alternate southern whip route. Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, as you know, it is our priority that we ensure that the safety of the public is is carried out when we transfer or ship waste to the waste isolation pilot plant. So with that said, Mr. Chairman, on April the 4th, 2024, the Department of Energy Carlsbad Field Office requested NMDOT extend the term of use of the temporary negotiated alternate southern whip route, which we refer to as the JAL route, beyond the termination date of June 30, 2024, established by the Commission in Resolution Number 2023-03, November, until June 30, 2025. That was the request, Mr. Chairman. As justification for continued use of the JAL route instead of the existing state designated southern whip route, US 285 to 62-180, the DOE CBFO identifies several conditions adverse to whip transportation safety. These conditions include construction projects along 285 corridor and heavy oil field traffic along 285 and National Parks Highway. Mr. Chairman, the NMDOT recommends the Commission extend the term of the JAL route to allow DOE CBFO continued use of the JAL route as a temporary negotiated alternate southern whip route until December 31st, 2024, unless terminated earlier by notice. So, Mr. Chairman, I do ask for your approval.
Thank you. You've heard the request for approval. Is there any comments, questions? If not, what is the pleasure of this commission? And what is your recommendation, Mr. Secretary?
Recommend approval of the use of JAL route.
So moved. So moved by Commissioner Tonjes. Do I have a second?
Second.
I second that, Mr. Chair.
Second by Commissioner Lundstrom. Can I get a roll call vote?
Yes.
Oh, hold on, for extending the term of use of the JAL route as a temporary negotiated alternate southern whip route. Okay, that's what
It's
I
two
mean.
things, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're gonna move on to Clarissa, the local government road fund program.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm here this morning to request approval for our FY25 local government road fund program. I'd like to have you turn to page 89. You will find a listing of our budget followed by a list of projects. This year, our local government road fund budget was $28,500,000, and it's being split between our 4 programs as follows. Our county arterial program is receiving $6,435,000. Our cooperative program, $10,395,000. Our school bus routes, $3,960,000. And our municipal arterial program, $6,210,000. With that, I stand for any questions.
Is there any questions? You had a chance to review it. What is the recommendation, Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate your approval of this, of the GRM projects.
Do I have a motion for approval of FY25 local government road fund program?
I will make that motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Chenoweth. Got a second? So, second by Commissioner Tonjes. Can I get a roll call vote?
Commissioner Tonjes?
Yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth?
Yes.
Chairman Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundstrom?
Yes.
Thank you. That carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on now to the final rulemaking actions required for the transfer of certain transportation-related functions from the PRC. And John, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Secretary Sarna, members of the Commission. As you all know, we have been working toward this transition from the PRC duties to the NMDOT, PRC transportation functions from the PRC to the DOT under SB 160 from the 2023 legislative session. At this time, we have completed all the aspects of the rulemaking up to this point where we have advertised the proposed rule and the changes. We've held public hearings on April 4th, April 5th, and May 10th. We've received written comment and oral public comment during those hearings. We did receive extensive comments on one rule, which was Rule 18.3.12 for towing, and we have pulled back some proposed changes on that rule. All of this is reflected in the reports that you have in your commission books. So at this time, what we're asking the commission to do is approve the final rulemaking action for all of the rules listed on the second page of the brief. And those rules have the effect, we've done some updates on the rules as well, but a lot of what we're doing is just changing over from PRC to NMDOT. And the rule I mentioned, the towing rule 18.3.12, which governs tow operations, we pulled back a little on that rule on any substantive changes and just based on public comment and decided to just change the references to PRC and NMDOT in that rule and move forward with future changes based on our understanding of these operations as they're transferred over. All the other rules.
Just one quick question. You mentioned that you have pulled along for towing.
It's included in, we're still making changes to it. So part of the rulemaking process is that when we receive public comments, we can decide whether or not to change the proposed rule made based on those public comments. So the final rule you have, the final proposed rule that you have in your book reflects the changes made based on those public comments, which were to not make any substantive changes. But the rule is still part of this package because we're still changing references to PRC to NMDOT in the rule. Okay. Any other questions?
I just ask a question, if you don't mind. If you share with us what that process is for public involvement or feedback you receive.
Okay, so when for rulemaking under the State Rules Act is an agency has to publish a notice of proposed rulemaking in the New Mexico Register, and under Commission Policy 4, we also publish in newspapers in each of the districts, on the DOT website, and on the Sunshine Board. Those notices set a period of at least 30 days for comment. And so during that notice period, we receive written comments from the public, any interested parties who want to comment on the rule. We then hold a public hearing to receive oral comments from any interested parties. And so we held 3 public hearings for this rulemaking for different rules under the rulemaking. And for one of those rules, 18.3.12, we received significant public comment, both written and oral. And so after we receive comments, the agency reviews those comments and decides whether to make changes to the proposed rule. In this case, we decided to not make the changes we'd originally proposed, other than just to change the references from PRC to DOT for Rule 18.3.12. And the idea is that once those functions are part of the NMDOT as of July 1st, 2024, we will work with stakeholders to review that rule again and see what substantive changes need to be made.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Any other questions or comments from fellow commissioners? Mr. Secretary, what is your recommendation?
Mr. Chair, I think we should go page by page on this, make sure we get it right. 180 pages, not too bad.
Let's take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, you know, I was talking with our general counsel, and I think what we'd like to do, you understand that we've been working on this transition for a year, and it has involved a number of things administratively and legally to ensure that the transfer is complete from a statutory and rule perspective, and administratively, including budget, finance, you know, physical space, staffing, etc. And so what we'll do at the next commission meeting is bring Eric Aragon, who was a project manager that we borrowed from another agency to help in this transition. And we expect that the new director for this division will also be in place by then, and we can provide the commission with a good overview of what this new division and DOT will look like, what it will be doing specifically, and answer any questions on that. But till then, I want to thank John, Steve, others, PRC, Elizabeth Jeffries there, who was the attorney helping in the transition for doing this work, and recommend approval of the rule changes as necessary to complete this transition.
You heard the recommendation for approval of the final rulemaking actions required for the transfer of certain transportation-related functions from the PRC to the NMDOT. Do I have a motion? So moved by Commissioner.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chair.
Sanchez. We have a second by Commissioner Lundstrom. Thank you, Commissioner. Can I get a roll call?
Commissioner Tonjes?
Yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth?
Yes.
Chairman Adams?
Yes,
Commissioner Lindstrom?
Yes.
and thank you for all the hard work that you put into this. I know it was an easy. All right, thank you. Thank you. Now we're gonna move on to the presentation, City of Portales Police Department. Do we have someone here? Come on down.
Thank you all.
Thank you, welcome.
Sir, Mr. Secretary, Chairman, Commission. I'm Christopher Williams, Chief of Police here in Portales. Over the last year or so, we've been working on, we've done some traffic studies for the speeding. You were talking earlier about DOT putting in work zones. I think it's fantastic. Bernalillo County's moving on it. We're working with the city of Farmington as well right now while they're exploring the possibility of trying to do this. And basically, since COVID, we were encouraged to have officers stop having so much personal contact. So across the country, we have limited interactions with roadside violators. And since then we've seen this huge increase in speeding across the country. We talked to everybody everywhere. We're having to retrain police officers that we hired on during the pandemic to teach them to make these traffic stops so that we can try to reduce the crashes, the injuries, everything. Here in Portales, we have 2 fatalities with motor vehicles, one on 206, one on US 70. Speed was a factor in those fatalities. And just like discussed with all these others, we've done the studies, we've seen the data where it is a problem. We've got our ordinance in place. We already have 2 locations in town with the cameras that are up. We're using the same company that Albuquerque is using. So hopefully, since they've got them on state highways, the company's familiar with what the requirements are for DOT. And we just look forward to moving forward and try to get the authorization to place those on our state highways in town, since we have 6 state highways in town.
What we would ask is that it's a process that has to take place. Number one, we have to pass it through our legal section. Number 2, if it's a road that was built with funding from FHW, we got to get approval from them also. Then we would like to get a recommendation from whoever's involved in the city council, or it's the county commission, or that they can come and say, hey, we support this, or whatever. Just like you said, we just approved Bernalillo counties. It was a process that took several months. So they came in with a request, and then our team did what they had to do. And so we would encourage you at this time to, Secretary, who would he start the process with as far as his request goes?
Sure, thank you. Thanks, Chief, for coming, and we really appreciate it. We got, Bernalillo County, City of Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, and others that are moving in this direction. And so what we can do is send over kind of a to-do list, if you will, to get the ball rolling. It would start with a local ordinance, the passing of a local ordinance that satisfies the statutory requirements, and we can send those to you. There's provisions in there that talk about the essentially the ordinance, the requirements of the ordinance relative to fines, the appeal process, the due process, things like that. The local government request, of course, meaning action by the local government to authorize you to make the request, and then we would work directly with the district. I imagine traffic engineer would probably be the best place to start at the district level, and we can kind of prescribe that to you. At which point, the district will work through the request, make an initial presentation to commission, and then give them enough time to kind of digest that information that the next meeting they can take action. So not too lengthy of a process, but there's a number of things going on in the background, so it's not kind of waiting, there's things happening in parallel with each other.
And I've been working with the Francisco, and apparently things have changed between when I started looking at this about a year ago and today. And I'm just trying to find a way to where we get these in place, because we do have a problem. And it's not just traffic, it's a recruitment thing. You know, people don't want to be in law enforcement anymore. It's really hard to get people out there to do the job. But we've had them going for about a month in town, and I've had no complaints about officer conduct on the traffic stop from it, because there's no personal interaction, and I haven't had an officer injured during one of these encounters. So, I mean, we've got our ordinance in place that mirrors Albuquerque's. I've tried to do the best thing. Like I said, it's the same company. I took Albuquerque's ordinance and mirrored it to work with talent. That's been in place, so. And hopefully we get a lot of steps.
And just to let you know that when the city of Albuquerque approached us, and they had approached us years ago, they approached us first with license plate readers.
Right.
So what they were looking at more was the license plate reader because of the high volume of stolen vehicles. So this was going to help them track that, and then they moved into the speed enforcement. And then as soon as we passed that, we will jump on board with that. So, and you can see we just approved it. So they'll send you a checklist, and we appreciate you coming here to try to improve the safety for your community. And if you're willing to you would follow the steps, we're willing to listen. So we appreciate you.
Yes, sir. I just need to know what I need to get done so I can do it.
The secretary will make sure you get all the information.
Yes, sir.
If you have any questions, feel free to contact the office.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here and waiting.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you. With that, we're going to move on to a proposed amendment to Commission Policy 12. We're going to do B, C, and D. I'll let you do them all because they're all briefings, so you can just walk through them.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, actually, before I get into this informational item, I would like to do a call out to John Newell for the amount of work he did in putting together most of the commission book. That's the commission looking at this session. Gilman's work really did a good job of lawyering. He's my guru in terms of rulemaking in the department, and took the laboring more on this, and I really would like to call out and recognize him for that good work.
Thank you again.
So, in terms of the informational items, as you know, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we have the habit of doing these as informational items in one commission meeting and then taking them up as action items on the second. All of these changes to several of the commission policies are really not substantive. They're just kind of cleanup changes. So there's nothing substantive in these, but they are Commission Policy 32, Commission Policy 65, Commission Policy 62. And it doesn't require any action at this time, but if there's any questions about any of these changes, I'd be happy to field those questions.
Any questions by all commissioners? They just review, will have a chance to review them as they work on them, and then eventually they'll come up as action items, correct?
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, is there anybody else or any other business to come before this Transportation Commission? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting at approximately 10:49? And that I don't need a recommendation.
Yes.
Do I have was that a motion, Commissioner Lundstrom?
That was a motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and do I have a second?
Second with,
Second by Commissioner Tonjes. Can I get a roll call for adjournment?
Commissioner Tonjes?
yes.
Commissioner Chenoweth?
Yes.
Chairman Adams?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundstrom?
Yes.
And before we adjourn, Commissioner Lundstrom, be safe, enjoy your trip,
Okay, guys.
and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Okay, guys, we'll see you. Thank you.
Okay, and with that, we are officially adjourned.
I don't have